Hi everyone, welcome back to Shred Guitar in the 80s. Today I'm going to show some Yngwie Neoclassical influenced runs I like to do with the harmonic minor scale, and talk a little bit about some of the other players that influenced me in terms of playing it. So after the Rising Force album, I think the next place that I really heard the harmonic minor scale being used a lot in the context of kind of a rock metal neoclassical type thing was Tony Macalpine's Edge of Insanity. This album is just amazing. I'm going to do a whole episode or 5 on this album. I just can't get enough of it. But this, it starts out with like the Wheel of Fortune and songs like that, The Stranger. They all have elements of harmonic minor in there. The album's just chock full of cool diminished and harmonic minor runs. So this album came on my radar next. And then pretty soon after that was Vinnie Moore's Mind's Eye, which I talk about like crazy on this channel because I just can't get enough of this album. So Tony Macalpine and Vinnie Moore, they were like the first two guys after Yngwie that I really got into, and they really helped solidify my love for neoclassical rock music. Another guy that really was a huge influence around that time was Paul Gilbert. I don't know if you can see my cassette here. This is the Street Lethal album. And there's some great cuts on here with some definite harmonic minor elements. Along with those guys, another guy that had a huge impression on me was David T Chastain. I was a big fan of David T Chastain with his band CJSS and Chastain and his instrumental stuff at the time, and still am. This Instrumental Variations is one of my favorite instrumental albums from that period. And the song Now or Never has just some amazing harmonic minor runs on it. If you get a chance, check out the song Now or Never. It's just chock full of really cool phrasing with the harmonic minor scale. And Dave's a great player, and he played a Kramer, which is a double plus. So Chris Impellitteri's playing was a huge influence, and this EP, the Black EP, has some great harmonic minor stuff, some very rainbowish sounding songs. I love his playing this, man. He just rips on this. And then the Impellitteri with Graham Bonnet. I still have the cassette here. I don't know if you can see that. This is a really brilliant album also, and the songs on this are great. That's what I love about this album, is the songwriting is so cool. Graham Bonnet just sounds awesome on it, and he does some very nice harmonic minor runs that are just blazing on this as well. So Chris was definitely an influence also. This is my 5150 replica. It's kind of like, modeled after the Van Halen guitar that he started playing in 1984 that he played a lot in the Sammy years. It's got a maple body and a maple neck. And I usually keep this one tuned down a half step, so I'm tuned down a half step. Here's a nice sequence you can try. This is in E harmonic minor, and it's very influenced by Yngwie. And what we're going to do is we're going to move this sequence, which is the Yngwie lick, which in this case would be 1916, 17, 19, 17, 16. And we're going to mix that up by going 17, 16, 17, 19, 17, 16. You can loop between those two and it sounds really nice. And when you do this, the key is you want to really have your triplets flowing. You really want it to be swinging. And I'm going to talk about how I kind of get that sound. And what I do to get that sound is that I don't rush it. Like, you want to start it right on time, and you want to make sure like the next note, the upstroke, isn't rushed. And sometimes I'm kind of accenting in my mind without maybe physically accenting it, but just sort of aiming for it in my mind. Like the 17 on the second string, so I might go 19, 16, and then I really want to hit that 17, and then I'll finish the lick, so it'd be like... I'm really kind of aiming for that second finger. I know it's kind of weird, But for me, that middle finger is kind of the key to keeping it swinging and in sync. So by doing that, So by starting on time and just kind of, you know, the lick's going around that second finger. That second finger is kind of just holding it all together because that's kind of the middle of the lick, if that makes sense. Then what I do is I'll play 19 on the second string, and then I'll go 15, 17, 19, 17, 15 on the first. This is a really nice lick I copied from Alla Di Meola, like in Friday Night in San Francisco and things like that. You can also just repeat that. That makes a real nice little picking lick in and of itself. And then what I'll do is I'll just move the Yngwie lick through those positions. But what I'll do is just in the different positions of E harmonic minor. So it'd be like 14, 15, 17, then 12, 14, 15, and then 11, 12, 14, and then on the second string 10, 12, 13, and then on the third string 11, 12, 14, and then on the fourth string 13, 14, 16, then on the fifth string 12, 14, 15, sixth string 12, 14, 15, and then I might end it just by going 11, 14, 11, 12. You can also just kind of do a pedal tone off the very start of the lick, like Yngwie would do, where you might go. So that's a really fun sequence to play. I like that a lot, and you can improvise around those shapes. Create a lot of nice melodies with it. For me, when I'm playing the scales, when I heard Yngwie and I heard Vinnie Moore and I heard all these guys playing, the thing that really appealed to me was how in sync they were and the amazing way they played, especially Yngwie. When he played, you can almost hear a space in between each note. It was so defined, no matter how fast he played. Like the chirp of the pick, the click of the pick would actually be so in sync with the note that in between you could just almost hear space. And that's the thing that really appealed to me about picking, that separated it from legato. So whenever I'm picking, that's what I always strive for, is to be really in sync with my playing. And how I do that is, like I talked about in many of my picking lessons, is I think of the notes as a phrase, a rhythmic phrase, and my hands really relax. It's almost like rubber. I'm just kind of playing, and sometimes when I'll play certain passages, my wrists will move or whatever. My hand kind of rocks or whatever. But it's just because my left hand is really, really relaxed, and I'm just allowing the motion to happen. I'm feeling the rhythm in my fingers, which I don't know if all the players that are playing this style feel that, or if that's just me, but that's kind of the best way to describe it. Another thing that I always strive for is great tone with the picking hand, the right hand. I wanted the pick to always sound really nice on the string. And for me, I get that by not using a lot of edge picking. I don't, slice the string. I'm actually hitting it pretty straight on. It's not flat, but it's just slightly forward. But my downstroke and my upstroke are real uniform that way, and I'm just very deliberate with the pick attack. And I use a little bit of that elbow mechanic, but I get a lot of power with that, and I'm very relaxed, and I just move my arm, and it works for me. Well, thanks a lot for joining me, and if you like this, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I really appreciate everyone who has done that. I really enjoy reading your comments, and I try to answer them all. And I just really love spreading the gospel of guitar playing, and especially from this era. I'm having a blast kind of reliving my memories from this era. So thanks a lot, and I hope you are all doing well and staying safe, and have fun picking.